Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, June 26th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts as a trader, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. A couple of quick clarifications. First off, the price you see over here will be changing, and then the candlestick you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. Stock number one here, MARA. Been tracking this one on a pretty routine basis. Going to go ahead and get rid of these greens lying down there because I think there's a quicker way and simpler way to approach this now. But the key dynamic here that will mean more to those of you that have watched past watch list videos, but it's all about that red line there of resistance, which I've talked about time and time again. And once again, you can see that this red line has been very, very annoying. Now, it's not annoying in the sense of the price can't break above it, because several times today the price broke above it. Just like over here, the price broke above it slightly. The problem has become not being able to stay above that area. And that's the main dynamic, and that's the main function right now of this area of resistance. Again, not to prevent the price from going above it. That's not the problem. The problem is the price actually staying above it. So that'll be the big kind of question mark moving forward next week is, can the price break above that level and then stay above it? So that'll be the main dynamic there. As far as levels of support, I mentioned earlier, there's kind of, I think, an easier way to go about this. And at this point in time, given the purple line there has moved so close, that purple line being the 50-period simple moving average, I would just use that as the main area of support, currently valued at just underneath the $12 mark. But yeah, all eyes on that level of resistance, and can the price break above it and then stay above it? Let's see what next week has to offer. Next one, APLD. Now, this is one nasty looking chart. I mean, when you stop and think about the fact that, I mean, true story, there are some poor souls that were buying around here looking for a breakout. I hope they use a stop loss, because if they didn't, they're not going to have a very good weekend. But nasty looking chart, ugly looking chart, but you longtime viewers know what I'm going to say next. But there can be opportunity in the ugly, and that's where we need to go on a bit of a search here and try to find where some next potential areas of support are. Whoops, let me squeeze this down a little bit more. There we go. And looking here, you can see that there's a track record here right around this area of $7.85. I think that still might be behind my ugly mug. There we go. So you can see right here, acted as support. Right here, acted as support. And wouldn't you know it, a whole bunch of times today acting as support. So I'm going to zoom back in, but just realize that that is where the green line's coming from. And you can see right now, basically 3 candles in a row have gone down there and found some buyers. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because some candles have now started to go sideways, does that mean that for sure guaranteed this is the bottom, that for sure guaranteed the price is going to bounce back up? No, if only it were that easy. But my point is, does it become a little bit more plausible at this point in time? Is it at least more rational to throw that, thought out there? And in my opinion, absolutely. So if you like to play these situations where maybe, just maybe, the blood is done and some sort of bounce is going to be around the corner, keep an eye on it. Next one, PIK, an interesting scenario here. Same general idea, not as much so as the previous one. That one was really looking ugly. But this one pulled back and then it has started now kind of curl back upwards. So in that situation, okay, once again, does this curling back upwards mean that it's the bottom and this thing's going to continue up? Again, absolutely not. No guarantees. But, is it at least rational? Is it at least plausible? Absolutely. So is this, is the pullback over? Is this the leading indicator that this pullback's going to make some sort of attempt? Whoops, let's try a different tool there. Is it going to make another attempt back upwards? And in my mind, right up here at the $1.35 mark, very, very important level. As you can see, rejected the price there. And then right there. So if the price can come up there and break through it, it becomes plausible that that break could, generate some more momentum. As far as supports are concerned, nothing fancy here. Just literally a question of where did the bleeding finally stop today? Where did that pullback stop? And that was down there right around the $1.10 mark, as you can see right there. So definitely an interesting scenario. So it'll be interesting to see if this thing does continue to curl back upwards on Monday. Next one, SPCE, been in the news lately, and rough day today with a gap down. But what makes this interesting is it's not like it gapped down and then just bled the entire day. No, it did actually start to go sideways. Not only did it start to go sideways, it's actually working on putting in a higher base. So once again, do these two dynamics of sideways movement in combination with a higher low mean that a bigger bounce is coming? No, it does not. But once more, are we at least within the realm of plausibility? Absolutely. So key level at least stands out to me as a potential point that I don't want to say is going to full-blown reverse, but at least makes it seem like it could generate some more, bouncing momentum, is right up there at the $4.50 mark. And then in terms of, key levels of support, Nothing fancy, just the question of where did the bottom finally show up today. That was right around $4.12. So like I said, if you like these sorts of scenarios, especially when you factor in that the price is hovering right here around that pink line, the 200 period moving average, like I said, definitely an interesting scenario, and that's what a watch list is all about. Finding unique, finding interesting scenarios, and not rushing out and randomly buying stuff, but watching it and seeing how the price continues to play out. Next one, AMC, and just the bleeding continues, but from a trading standpoint, there's a very interesting dynamic here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and this level too, because in my mind, I want to keep this very simple, and I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to press you. I'm not trying to imply this is a great discovery on my part or a special talent, but you got to think that there's been a bunch of people that have drawn in that trend line just like that. And I say that a bunch of people have done that because when lots of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So no guarantees, but is it rational to think that the price comes up here and breaks through that line, that people are just going to be buying because, hey, look, it's a breaking the trend line. Hey, I'm a breakout player. I'm supposed to buy. Yeah, that is certainly a very plausible outcome. So in my mind, going into next week, AMC is as simple as that. That trend line in place, and can the price break it? And if it does, will that generate some sort of momentum that, I'm not going to say full-blown reverses it back up to $5, but at least makes it worthwhile for a bounce and a trade? I think it's worth watching. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to get signed up. Or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the page you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, WORX, and very interesting scenario here. Once again, think back to that whole topic we just had about self-fulfilling prophecies. And once again, you got to think that a lot of people have drawn that trend line. I mean, look at this. Rejected the price. Rejected, 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 rejected. So I'm not going to repeat myself, but same exact general idea that I just talked about with AMC. Guaranteed, no. But if the price comes up here and breaks through that level, then yes, it's plausible to think that that could create more people that are interested in buying. So if you like penny stocks and you like to play these potential self-fulfilling prophecy breakouts, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, Tesla, and not a whole lot new to talk about. I'm assuming you watched the previous videos, because as of now, the price is seemingly now just getting itself stuck inside of this sideways channel, which is not a bad thing. I don't say that in a bearish sense, because from an overarching point of view, you can still see the trend is still very clearly in the upwards direction. So like I said, I don't say any of that in the, oh, it's game over. I just say it in the sense of, yeah, the past few days, just a lot of choppiness back and forth. So the top of this channel up here at 264.50, and then this green line down here at 254.50, you can see once again showed up several times today as a support, including right now as I speak. You can see looking like last 30 minutes going to potentially find some support right there too. But that's really as simple as that right now. Not anything new to really update other than just saying the sideways channel continues. Next one, PLTR, and did not start off well at all. And from an overarching standpoint, still a rough day, just in the sense that it has once again, because as has been the trend, lower low, lower low, lower low, and then yes, once again today, lower low. So that would be the negative side of things. Let me get this area of support moved down here to just map out where that new low is at, 1355. But like I said, with that being said, to give credit to, after it hit that low during the opening 30 minutes from there, it was just a slow and steady grind back upwards. Now, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done. First bit of quote-unquote work is getting back above that red line there that I talked about previously as resistance at $14.30. And then even if the price breaks above that, I'd still be a little skeptical, because not that far away is that purple line there, the 50 period moving average right now valued at $14.60. So those couple areas right there are going to be, the next key battlegrounds. But like I said, all things considered, I'd say, call it today a good overall day, because it did grind higher and higher. But yeah, it did once again put in that lower low. So the downtrend continues. But like I said, very popular stock. And really all it takes is kind of just one of those things where somebody just says the right word. And, these sideways channels can be broken in a hurry. So we'll see what happens next week. Next one, NIO, and the downtrend continues on this one with a bigger pullback that, again, this is why you got to use stop losses. You know that there are some poor souls that bought that gap up right there. You know there's some poor souls that bought right there thinking it was going to go higher. And yeah, FOMO, fear of missing out. That can be brutal if you're not managing risk. But anyways, we'll get back on topic here. Once again, what was the other one that was? I can't remember. Another one we looked at was doing the same thing. It was caught up in that pink line there, 200 period moving average, same general idea as this one moving forward. So we're at bottomed out here at $8.30 is going to make it an interesting level of support, which let me move this over here. You can see right here, it also acted as support before. So it makes sense why this area right there, once again, acted as support when you just look back through the previous history. So definitely keep an eye on that from a support side of things. And then I'm going to zoom back in so you can just see where that green line came from. But then as far as areas of resistance, main level to me looks to be right up there at that 875 mark. So keep an eye on 875. But like a lot of these other ones, started off rough, but has now at least started to go sideways here a little bit. So does that guarantee bottom? Say it with me. No, there are no guarantees, but it does make it plausible. Maybe this thing's getting ready to make it a try to, or at least to make another attempt back up to do battle with that 875. Next, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. Big difference is it just allows you access at a much lower price point. And headed into the weekend, in my mind, let's just really apply the KISS method here. Keep it simple, stupid, because in my mind, there are two main dynamics here that really stand out. First dynamic is going to be that resistance trend line right there. Got to think a lot of people are watching that. Maybe you're saying, Clay, no, I don't even think you need to draw a trend line. I would just use that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, and I would not disagree with that at all. So I suppose use whatever is most appealing to your eye. And then another level that just stands out that you got to think everybody's going to be watching is all about, and maybe you see where I'm headed, but the pink line there, which you now know is that famous 200-period moving average. So if you wanted to use that as a trend line too, so we have this quote-unquote trend line, we have that trend line, then you can see this wedge pattern that is essentially formed, which now brings about always the exciting question is, okay, this wedge pattern is running out of room. Somebody's got to win the battle. Who is going to win the battle is the big question headed into next week. Are the bulls going to win it with a break to the upside, or are the bears going to win it with a break to the downside? That is the big question mark moving forward. So grab some popcorn, grab some Sour Patch Kids, and let's see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free live online class next week. It'll be Thursday, June 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, please do two things for me if you enjoy these and want me to continue to make them. Hit the like button, leave a comment below, say hi, give me a smiley face emoji. Tell me what you traded today, tell me what's on your watch list for next week. But those two things communicate to me that you enjoy, and as long as I know you're enjoying as a viewer, I'll continue to put the time and effort to get this content out to you. So again, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and go get signed up for that free class. Take care. Have a great weekend.